Welcome to Tech Talks with WSU Tech. I'm Dr. Sheree Utash, and today we're joined by Jessi Lane, the Dean of Applied Technologies at WSU Tech. Jessi will be sharing exciting updates on the renovations and the new developments at the City Center campus, and I'm so excited about this. So before we get started though, Jessi, will you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you work towards the mission of the college?
Absolutely. So again, like you said, Dean of Applied Technologies, my office is at City Center campus. And kind of how I contribute to the mission is I make sure that the programs that I oversee are meeting industry, like fulfilling what our industry needs and creating the workforce that Wichita needs right now.
So when we talk about this, what all's at your campus?
There's a lot on my campus. So we've got automotive technology, alternative fuels, the new mobile equipment program. We got construction science, HVAC, the industrial automation program, high school welding is on my campus. Those are both report to manufacturing. And then we got a couple programs coming up on the way.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay. So give us an overview of what's going on with the renovations at City Center and why is that significant? And how's it going to help students and how's it going to help industry?
Absolutely. So, the main thing that most people are aware of is our C building, which is the kind of automotive technology, which houses alternative fuels, automotive, and the new mobile equipment program. We've got a couple things in our D building. So we've got some space that's allocated for the Caterpillar Think Big program. We've got some space that's allocated for an electrician program, and we've got a simulator lab that's happening in the lobby. What used to be an old, just unused office is now becoming a sim lab. So
sim lab for what?
Mobile equipment operation.
Okay.
So actually,
talk to us about that.
Operating heavy equipment, operating cranes, excavators, bulldozers, and that's all non-credit opportunities that we're going to be developing in that space, as well as providing that opportunity to our construction students who had told us, hey, we're getting put on equipment, but we don't have experience, and we're getting, hey, get in this skid steer. Go, what? I've never been in a skid steer.
So I can't wait to try that because I did the simulator for the forklift
Yeah.
at Future Ready Center, and they told me to keep my day job.
You'll love this one because if you go down a hill, it's going to lean you forward.
And you might fall out.
It'll keep
You're
you from
harnessed in, right?
You're harnessed in, but yeah. So
Okay.
that'll be really fun. And so the impact, I think, really for the students is the increased amount of opportunities. So with the C building renovation, we're increasing capacity. There is a huge workforce need for technicians to service, automobiles, semi-trucks, heavy equipment, even small equipment. There's a major need in not just Wichita, but the region, state of Kansas, and even outside of that, that we're trying to address that shortage. So there's more opportunities. And some of the great things about the renovation is that we're really also addressing some of our industry asks from other aspects of, hey, we need students to come into the workforce and maintain a shop. Do some of those 5S things where they're keeping things clean, they're organizing, they're putting up. So you walk into a premium high-end dealership, you don't want to give them your Lexus if they're going to leave it greasy and nasty and not take care of it.
I love it when they wash it.
Yeah. Right?
When they get done with whatever they're doing, they wash it and they clean it and it's good. And so when you talk about this, we're putting in some new things. The mobile equipment is one. Talk a little bit about how the renovation is really going to change or enhance what you're doing in alternative fuels. Because I don't know that a lot of people really understand the alternative fuels program. I think people understand auto tech.
Yeah.
Alternative fuels.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do get that from students a lot. You get students that go like, I don't want to work on electric cars. And we get students that come in and go, oh, well, I'm going to take a couple extra classes because I'm interested in that alternative fuel stuff. That's pretty exciting. Really, the alternative fuels program is preparing students not just for the automotive service, but the future of it as well. So they're able to work on, gas-powered cars too. But the biggest change to the renovations used to be the old alternative fuels lab, which also was the old collision repair lab. And there's a couple paint booths just taking up real estate. And we took it all out and opened it up. So those students are actually going to be able to start having more space, more visibility for the instructors, so they're able to see all their students at all times. So increase the safety of it as well, but increase awareness. So when you walk in that front door of the C building, you got the switch, the electric vehicle right there across the glass in the
Is
new
that the
lab.
one I drove?
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So fun.
Um,
So fast.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
They're super fast.
Mhm.
So, and as we get more, every day I start to see more Teslas. I see some Cybertrucks on the road here recently, and so we need people that know how to service those.
That's right. And it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. Conversely, in the aviation industry, at the Farnborough Air Show we were just at, tons of eVTOLs. So electric vertical lift was all over the place. So not only is the automotive industry changing, but the future of that aviation industry is going to be touched by all of this that you're doing as well.
Yeah.
Talk about partnerships. So I love the way that you work with industry partners. Talk about some of your key partnerships with industry that helped drive this. And then also talk about how do we fund this?
Absolutely. So kind of on the onset, we had Snap-on coming through and going like, well, hey, why don't we take this wall down here and we do this? And Earl Bailey, a great partner from Snap-on, he's seen a few of these things before in his time, and has been to a lot of schools. And maybe we could do this. Maybe we could put glass in this wall here. And he had some great ideas, and I believe all of them got adopted.
And they did a lot of the architectural design for us.
Yep, the initial design of what it looks like. Yeah.
Free gratis because of our partnership with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we were able to hand that over to the architect, and they were like, okay, well, how do we make this work with the building that we have? So again, that building was 1952 is when that building was built. I believe, if I'm not correct, there could be some others that I'm not aware of, but the second oldest building that we occupy that I'm aware of, the first oldest being in 1931, I believe, based on what I looked at last night for records, was B building and the city center campus as well. So, but back to the partnerships. So that kind of kicked it off. But we have a lot of partners that there's such a need, and I just toured one through yesterday, and they're so excited to see what we're doing and the energy and effort that's being put into it. So the funding from the state to actually do this work has built so much energy from our partners to say, we're really taking this seriously. We want to provide our students the best experience. We want to provide you the best workforce where we're consistent with every student that's coming out. Every student's getting a consistent experience. And so we're getting semi-trucks from Kenworth, trucks from Hatchet. We have a beautiful truck from Hatchet. Can't go on the road. It's got a frame damage, so never can be on the road, but
but it is a beautiful truck.
Beautiful truck. Yeah. Our NC3 partnership and using NC3's Kubota certifications to embed with the mobile equipment. So with when Foley was approaching us, like, hey, we need to deliver this. I go, well, how do we build that? So we started building it with Kubota is part of that program. And then as that has grown with our partnership with Foley Equipment, has now kind of peeled off into this partnership with Caterpillar corporate into the Think Big program.
Talk about the Think Big program.
Oh, Think Big. Think Big is something I've known about for a while. I've got a lot of friends that went through Think Big, and then Think Bigger at Pitt State is the only Think Bigger school in the country. There are only 11 schools that are Think Big, and we are number 12.
Woohoo!
Caterpillar. The thing that I'm the most proud of with that whole deal is Caterpillar they reopened a Think Big school in 2008. So it's been over 20 years.
Since they opened one?
Since they opened a new school. 20 to 30 years since they've opened a new school. We are the first.
And they picked WSU Tech.
WSU Tech.
And Jessi Lane.
Well, I think we got some good faculty and some good resources we've invested in that program. So really Foley has been the driver. Our partnership that we've built, and I believe Before I even started, I got a message from Jack Frederick. Said, "Hey, I got a meeting with Sheree. I saw you posted on your profile. You're starting at WSU Tech. Are you going to be in that meeting?" Well, I don't start quite yet. And unfortunately, that meeting got pushed back a little bit.
Yeah. And you were in that first meeting.
I was in that first meeting with Jack and you and the Foley partners. And that was pretty early on for me. And it's been a fun ride to work with them and build it up. They're a great partner. They love the fact that we wear a raincoat and we're responsive. I mean, that's the number one thing I hear from them is whenever they give us feedback, we go, okay, let's fix it. And they're good at giving feedback. And I love the feedback they give us. So they give us the opportunity to fix it. And so through that process and building that up, they've gone, you know what, Caterpillar, you need to figure this out. We need them to be a Think Big school because that carries a lot of weight in the industry for heavy equipment, especially within their own shops throughout Kansas and Missouri. You know, Think Big has been what all of their technicians know. So whenever they had this new program with us, you know, some of their technicians would go like, "What is this?" You know, and they started going, "Oh, well, these students are not half bad." And that's where Foley's like, you know, let's get this going. And it's been an exciting run for Caterpillar to go, all right, we can do that.
So that's going to make a lot of changes at City Center.
It will. It will.
In a lot of ways. And we have not been in the big equipment business for many years.
Yeah. I used to be probably back whenever we offered CDL licenses.
About 16 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Which we're not doing right now.
No, not going to.
So the exciting thing with Think Big is we're going to pull students from across the state that used to have to go to Oklahoma or Missouri. I mean, that's where these students were going for Foley was they were going to OSU or were they going to State Tech in Missouri. Housing was challenging for them. The schedule was challenging for them with it being so far away from home. And we can really start getting more students staying here in Kansas. Also, when they go to these other schools, they get poached by other dealerships as well. So they may get an offer in Texas or in California or wherever. So we're trying to keep these students in Kansas, but then also bring some students to Kansas.
We want to bring students in and we want to retain them.
Absolutely.
That's I think that's the beauty of this is that this is another way that we can also help grow the population. There's certain programs that we have that are very unique that others don't have. This is going to be one of those, I think.
Yeah. And this stems into the next kind of generation of the Think Big program. So there is I'd say an offshoot almost. It's electric power generation. Of the 11, did I say 11? 11 schools. 2 of them are the schools that offer this electric power generation. One's in Georgia. One is in Oregon, I believe. We're going to be number 3.
Love that.
In the country. So we're going to have students from Colorado. We're going to have students from Wyoming.
You nail that one. And I'll bring you back on to Tech Talks to talk about it. So what's next at City Center? I mean, what's next? And what does your enrollment look like this fall?
Enrollment is great. I've just automotive alone. If you just look at automotive, you don't include alternative fuels, mobile equipment, any of those other programs. I think it's up 700 plus credit hours compared to where we were last year. So enrollment is looking amazing at City Center. I hope we have enough parking spaces. But the future of City Center, so we talked about the Think Big program. There's the Think Big Lab that's dedicated. The electrician program, which will be adjacent to the Think Big Lab.
And is that Greenlee?
That'll be the Greenlee Lab.
Yep.
Absolutely. So our residential and commercial electricians going through
with
that
industry
program.
credentials from NC3?
NC3, NCCR. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Perfect.
Very lots of credentials in that program. We also have a grant through Department of Energy to bring on a building automations program and grow our HVAC as an option for students to either upskill or go through that path and really go the controls side of building the HVAC systems. Also, the Future Ready Center for Construction, if 259 gets their bond approved, Building B, the 1931 building, will be coming down.
Will be modernized.
Yeah. So
will be coming down and rebuilt if it all happens.
Absolutely. And there's some great concepts that I'm excited about with that Future Ready Center. The vision that I see, and if this is pipe dream, right, is a space where we can move a project through labs and have our construction students frame it. We have our electrician students put the electrical in it. We have our HVAC students put a mini split, and then have at the very end of this production line, we have a mini home coming out the end that either we have industry partners help pay for, and we get to donate with some organization locally, give back to the community, or even recoup those funds for consumables if that's what we have to do.
Love the vision, applied learning at its finest.
Absolutely.
Jessi, thanks so much for being on Tech Talks at
My
WSU
pleasure.
Tech. A privilege to have you here. Love the work that you do. Love the energy, the vision, and the innovation that you bring every day.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Tech Talks at WSU Tech. Be sure to continue to explore and to watch and stay connected with all the incredible work that's happening at WSU Tech.